Welcome back, persistent hikers, to glimpses of our California parks. Today, we will visit the central coastal region of our California parks, encompassing 55 of over 400 diverse public, state, and federal parks and their related units located within our Golden State. Pinnacles is a 26,000-acre scenic mountain range, which contains the remains of an ancient volcanic field. It's a public accessible park maintained by the National Park System. Located within Monterey and San Benito counties, 5 miles east of Soledad, 80 miles southeast of San Jose, and 135 miles south of San Francisco. This park unit was first established in 1908 as a national monument to protect the ancient volcanic geological formations. Later, in 2013, it became a national park. The persistent hiker documented this park unit in the month of November 2023 and hopes this short video and informative commentary will entice you and yours to come visit this remote, scenic, geological federal park unit in the near future. Because of the size and scope of this park unit and the driving distance between the two entrance points, I have made 2 separate videos to cover both the eastern and the western areas. Here we have some of the original 1908 National Monument entrance and buildings. The eastern entrance section of the park consists of the Butterfield Ranch area, the Bacon Ranch area, a small visitor center, a convenience store, the campground, the Bear Gulch Nature Center, some scenic parking areas, and 8 hiking trails, along with the Bear Gulch Talus Cave and the Bear Gulch Reservoir. The Pinnacles story began 23 million years ago when the Farallon tectonic plate subducted under the southwestern part of the North American plate, creating the California coastal range. The subduction spawned volcanic activity as molten rock poured through the fissures as the plates ground against each other. Afterwards, the Pacific plate collided with the North American plate, creating the San Andreas Fault. For all you trivia buffs, our San Andreas fault line is the longest in the world, measuring a whopping 1,300 kilometers. When someone asks me, one who lives on the western side of the fault, the side where Pinnacles resides, if I'm moving out of California soon, I always reply, yes, I'm moving up north, 46 millimeters per year. Some get it, and some walk away thinking I'm just another California nut. Here in the valley, we find a family of indigenous black-tailed deer, enjoying the tranquility of an open field, free to enjoy life inside the park's protective boundary. Keep in mind the park's warning, don't approach wild animals. Translation: taking home the park experience, one antler at a time. The Pinnacles campground consists of 134 sites, consisting of tent camping, RV sites, and canvas tent cabins. There is a dump station, showers, the visitor center, and a small store located within walking distance. Near the campground, I got a chance to photograph some fall foliage, some oak trees with acorns, and a small creek that runs through the park. A nice sunset in the valley. Because Pinnacles is a dark sky park, I highly suggest you bring flashlights for moving around in the evening. For our east side hiking adventure, we chose the Moses Spring Trail to include the Bear Gulch Cave Trail, the Talus Cave itself, and the reservoir. At this time of the year, the weather was nice, making this hike a pleasant experience. I spent 3 hours exploring and recording. I average about a mile per hour. I know I'm slow, right? Those of us with walking issues can't be in a hurry. For the persistent hikers, slow and steady sets the pace and wins the race. As we get older, we realize we only have a limited time to smell the roses. Might as well enjoy the experience when we can. The changing trail landscape never ceases to amaze us. We came across this short, carved-out tunnel along the way. Along the way, we had to traverse some uneven footing, some tight rock passages, some narrow cliff section, and even do a little scrambling. I will continue to remind you to acknowledge your personal limits. You're not here to prove anything, just enjoy the experience. These park brochure warnings are meant for able-bodied hikers, healthy with no mobility issues. A moderate trail rating for the healthy hiker can become a difficult trek for one with mobility issues. It's not up to the parks to rate their trails on our individual health issues. They depend on us knowing our own limits. With that being said, and before you begin a hike, grab the park's brochures and trail guides and pay close attention to the following: time needed, difficulty rating, total mileage there and back, most important, elevation change. As for the park's key warnings and their meanings, I have included my translations. Warning: slippery when wet. Translation: unmarked scenic shortcut to the canyon below. Warning: flashlights needed. Translation: no light switch. Warning: traverse some tight areas. Translation: squeezing your inflated ego through unmovable boulders. Warning: low ceiling. Translation: I told you to duck. And finally, my all-time favorite warning: scramble through tight passages. Translation: crawling around on your hands and knees. Speaking of scrambling through tight passages, we've now arrived at the Bear Gulch Talus Cave entrance. Out of the park's 2 talus caves, this is the easier to traverse, contains some natural lighting, and is the most scenic. Except for the hands and knee exit, it's actually not bad. If a talus cave is on your bucket list, this is the one I recommend. The challenge? Nothing a little hopscotch can't negotiate. Just take your time and watch your step. If I could do it, you probably can. If your walking difficulties are mild and you feel up to the challenge, this would be the cave that I would take. Talus caves do present unique photographic opportunities. What is a talus cave, you ask? They're created when boulders crash down into a narrow canyon and form a roof over a hollow passageway. Railings and steps are found in some of the harder areas. To exit the cave, you'll have to do a short hands and knee crawl. Although most of these obstacles sound like fun times for all you healthy hikers, they constitute a challenge for those of us with mobility issues. I talk from experience. Rock formations at the cave exit. Somehow, after exiting the cave area, we took a wrong turn and missed the reservoir. I really wanted to include that in this video. Oh well, who needs a trail guide anyhow? Even with one, we got lost. Turns out we were heading back on the Moses Spring Trail. This trail took you around the outside of the Bear Gulch Cave. Disappointed I had missed the reservoir, the scenic Moses Spring Trail made up for the mistaken turn. The downhill trail back to the parking area was even more scenic than the Bear Gulch Trail we had taken up. Maybe it was the different angles from which we were viewing the Pinnacle Formation. What I do know is we enjoyed this fabulous trail adventure. The scenic rock formations were never ending. I continue to document the trail all the way down. Got to watch your footing very carefully through this area. Pinnacles originally formed 23 million years ago, 195 miles south at the Nenach Formation. Located in the Antelope Valley portion of Southern California, the original Nenach volcanic field is believed to have been 15 miles long and 8,000 feet high. As the Pacific Plate crept north along the San Andreas Fault, it split the volcanic field. Carrying 2/3 of the Nenach Formation on its journey northward, a portion of the volcanic field sank beneath the surface. Wind and rain exposed the remaining volcanic field, eroded the rubble, and during its 23 million year journey, the Pinnacle Formation we see today was created. The Moses Spring. Oh well, I wasn't expecting much this time of the year. The moisture and runoff surrounding the Moses Creek area allowed for some woodland ferns to thrive in this otherwise hostile environment. Rock spires, ramparts, and crags that bear no resemblance to the nearby foothills dominate the landscape here in Pinnacles National Park. Here we join up with the Bear Gulch Trail, heading downhill towards the parking area. Pinnacle's Mediterranean climate, hot, dry summers, cool winters, and moderate rainfall, influences the park's plants and trees. Back through the tunnel as we continue downhill. Everywhere we look, there's scenery to photograph. The park is open year-round, 24 hours a day. The busiest times are mid-February to early June. As we say farewell to the high peaks area, we try and catch a glimpse of a rapture, a bird of prey, a cliff-dwelling bird, or a turkey vulture, birds that raise their young in the high cliffs of Pinnacles. Seen only in the evenings, several bat species find refuge in Pinnacles caves and cliffs and trees. Gazing at the tall cliffs above, lest we forget our most famous park icon, the California condor. On a trip to the Grand Canyon in Arizona, I got a rare chance to witness one of these magnificent birds, up close and personal. They may not qualify as the most attractive bird we have in California, but you should see them soar. Few birds are as graceful in the sky as the California condor. Pinnacles National Park is a nesting area for the condor and one of the few release sites chosen in the United States. Weighing about 20 pounds and with a wingspan of 9.5 feet, the condor soars on the thermal updraft at an altitude of up to 15,000 feet. California's successful captive breeding program saved the condor from extinction. This is one time humans can pat themselves on the back, even though we were the ones who almost wiped them out. Hope you enjoyed this park adventure. Take the time to visit our sponsors and become a monthly donor, assisting us in documenting each of our diverse federal and state California parks. By becoming a member of the Persistent Hikers and wearing our Glimpses patch, you are informing the young generation that we seniors still have the capability, although limited, to enjoy our parks just as much as they can. Until our next California park adventure, happy trails.